All right, yo, what's up, guys? It's Achieved. Today, I wanted to bring up an absolute whitelist G in the AIO Discord. And I kind of just wanted to ask him a few questions. Mean, how are you doing today?
I'm chilling, man. I'm just relaxing, just
Yeah.
checking out Twitter and just, looking out for feeds, just like always. How are
Yeah,
you?
good, man. Just wanted to get you on here because I know that there's probably a lot of people out there kind of trying to figure out this whole whitelist thing regarding
Yeah,
the NFT space and kind of how it works and like why it's even a necessity and stuff like that. So let's just get into it. I have a few questions for you, and I'd appreciate if you could answer
yeah, for
them.
sure, for sure. Ask away, man.
All right. So first of all, how much have you made just from being on whitelist alone?
From being on whitelist alone, I've had to say I've seen a great increase in profit because just getting there first, being able to mint first, being able to start the floor off first, it's a
Right.
very like fast pace and just like a very quick fast and profit if you want to hold or flip. But basically I've seen like let's see, like I don't even know the percentage of profit, but it was a great amount. I used to watch the floor off of OpenSea and just
Yeah.
like I used to watch how you say it, FOMOs and stuff like that. I wouldn't make profit. It's like a win or lose, that's gambling. But when you're whitelisted, it's like either a guaranteed profit depending on what project you're going for.
Right.
And just like it's easy. I made plenty and plenty of money just off of turning a point 0.1 mint to a point 0.3, point 0.4 because it's moving so fast and you get to build the floor. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
And you're able to kind of like figure out whether you want to go for it too. Like you have that
Exactly.
discretion for, I mean, usually they're 24 hours if I'm not mistaken, those
Yeah,
whitelists. So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
for sure, man. And then just like when there are projects out there that are just like, oh, you got a window of like 2 hours. You got 2 hours to mint. And then you're just looking at it as a let's see, I got 2 hours to mint. And then if I can mint and I can mint in these 2 hours, I have 2 hours like to how you say flip to
Right.
see how the whitelist is gonna treat the floor. Basically, how whitelist treats the floor shows basically how public's gonna treat the floor. It's either public's gonna treat it horrible or just like a kind of the same, just tank the floor a little bit and then it's gonna go up like later throughout the day.
Right. Okay, sweet. Um, so as of right now, like what whitelists have you gotten on so far? Like
So
big names.
so far, big names wise, I had to say Babes Clan. I have this thing called Sakira.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a what is it called? How do you say it? It's another project just like what do you call it? Azuki.
Yeah,
It's
Azuki,
like
yeah.
one of those Azuki projects. And then I got this one called Young Apes
Mm-hmm.
or Young Hapes. This is very blown up pretty fast. I've been with them since the before time. I even knew about this project on Twitter, and I just been looking at them, waiting for them to open the Discord. And around once they open the Discord, they even knew me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just takes time to just like work towards just getting to know new projects because I seen the potential in this project. And then so once I joined, they instantly just like, oh yeah, I remember you off of Twitter. They whitelisted me, and then now we're at 26,000 members in here, and I remember it was just like a few of us.
Right. So like whenever you say like you try and you can kind of guess right away like if it's going to be a big project or not. Like how do you know which projects to get whitelist on, or do you try to get on as many as you can to like better your
Um,
odds?
right. To bet it's like in the way of getting whitelisted for as like many as I can. Basically, I just look out for just like something that I like that
Mhm.
looks like it has potential, that looks like it has like a lot of like people watching it. Cause first I just click on it, I see if I like the art. If I like the art, I click on the profile. I see they got like a good amount of followers. Cause even 1,000 followers can turn to 10,000 in a day. You never know.
Right, especially
And
since
just like
if they're fresh. Like
exactly.
yeah.
If it's very fresh, people tend to look at it and just say, I like the art, but there's not enough people there. But if you
Right.
look at the top and you go look at their Twitter, it says they tweeted only 2 times. There's about 5,000 people following these people and they only tweeted twice. That's a
Right.
problem.
Right.
Like that's a big thing. Something could happen within the 24 hours. Like in the NFT space, it's so much time that anything can happen.
Right, because we've seen it time and time again where projects blow up within like an hour and they can get like
Exactly. It's
5,000 Discord members within that time, and then it kind of just
very easy.
bleeds into the Twitter, and then you're kind of set because you've already got in early. So
Exactly.
so you would say for the most part to try and like you'd want to try and not get on as many as you can, but be more efficient in how like you see projects. So you're basically focusing on more of the art, or how are you going
Yeah,
about it?
I'm more focused of like the art because some things that you will like tend to like blow up a lot more than just something that you're just trying to get whitelisted for. Because if you're just trying to get whitelisted for random projects that you don't really know much about and you just see a lot of potential in it,
Mm-hmm.
usually those are the projects that do pretty bad. Like
Right.
it's like a kind of way hard of like a hard way to explain it because like let's see, when I'm going for a whitelist, it's like I know what I'm looking for. I know what I want. If you see like ape project, okay, that could be
Mm-hmm.
something really nice. But at the same time, we already know there's so many ape projects. So if you want to get a quick flip, that's where I would say you look for as many whitelist projects as you can. But
Right.
if you wanted to go for certain ones, I would go out and like get in like a Discord channel, like how we are,
Mm-hmm.
and like see what people are talking about. And if they post up saying that, oh, here's this project, and then you look at it, and then you can go for whitelist on that one like all types of very big name projects. It's like more of something that's let's see, it's more of like something that you would see that you could want to hold instead of just doing a quick flip. Quick flip is more of like for like I said, projects that you want to get as many whitelists as possible, and then maybe you think about holding is for like a big name project.
Right. And also it kind of goes into like the time efficiency part of it too. So like if you're trying to go for as many as you can, you might be missing out on those
Yes.
golden eggs that you should be
Expect
spending
yeah.
your time on.
Exactly. That's what I'm that's exactly what I've been wanting to say is like how to say it. You don't want to waste your time on a project because like grinding for a whitelist it is very difficult in times, or
Mm-hmm.
if you're just very early, it makes it so easy because once you see a project and then you follow it, you turn notifications, you make sure to see that you're seeing every single tweet. It doesn't matter. Maybe liking it, making sure that your name pops up in their notifications because you never know. They're
Mm-hmm.
always watching, they're always looking, you don't know. And then so like how that goes is just like if you're wasting your time grinding for a huge project and you just grinding and grinding, type in the chat, trying to do whatever you can to get whitelisted for that project, thinking that it might change your life. What happened to Squiggles? We
Yeah.
there's so many people grinding for whitelists on that, and then like because like there's so much hype for it, there's people jumping in there trying to get whitelisted for a project that is literally almost out of our league. You can't get whitelisted because you're not gonna get noticed. Chat's flying like hell,
Right.
and like your fan art's gonna get pushed up because there's other people making like real life fan art. And
Right.
like when you're grinding for a whitelist, basically what I'm trying to say is that go for something that's fresh. Don't go for something that's stupidly huge at the moment.
Already.
I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes you'll be able to get that lucky chance, but I feel like the best way to get into those big projects to get whitelisted, giveaways, games, going in chat and talking, it's not it no more for big projects. You can't. You just got to be early in order to do that.
Right. Yeah. 100%. So essentially right now it's like for early projects you can go ahead and do the regular requirements and stuff, but like if you're trying to get into say something that's already hyped, you kind of got to do a little bit more or a lot more
Yeah,
essentially.
a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
they tend to see like because like let's say founders, admins, they tend to see like the potential of their project. They obviously
Oh,
see it at
right,
the
right.
beginning, and
Yeah.
then they just start to potentially see it the how you say it, the potential, like I said,
Yeah.
um they tend to raise the limits of who they whitelist as of you hear about interviews for whitelist, so like big projects, but at the start of the project, they was just looking out for people that are brand new that are
Right.
actually talking to the chat. But more people
Exactly.
that join, they're not paying attention to the chat no more. They're doing giveaways and stuff like that. And that's what really happens to the whitelist. They're not gonna go in the chat and pick someone that's been active, that's level 30 or whatever the hell. Like you've been active for days and days out all night. They're not gonna do that. They're not
Exactly.
gonna do that. There's too many of you guys to just sit there and be typing in chat, wasting your time when you could be looking out for new projects. While you're over here typing in chat for hours, there's another project posted on Twitter that you missed out on.
True. Very true. So when you kind of say that like um kind of hard requirements and stuff, right? Like what type of
Yeah.
requirements do you usually see when trying to get on a whitelist?
The type of requirements that I usually see is like I don't really see much of leveling up, invites like that no more. Usually that happens with projects that are like they need like project that need invites, leveling up and stuff like that. I feel like those projects that's their way of promoting their own project. A
Right.
good project doesn't need all that invite bull crap or any of that stuff. That's why like stuff like that hasn't been pushing out lately.
Mm-hmm.
Lately they've been saying, oh, we're not gonna be like every other project. We're gonna just if you're dedicated to that project, you're communicating the chat, you're helping everyone else, you're helping newcomers and stuff like that. That's the way how we're gonna whitelist you and stuff like that.
Right.
And like other ways, it's just like I said, you gotta get in there early, and then that's when you start doing that. Because even regardless, big projects will say that,
Yeah.
but you won't get whitelisted.
So would you say kind of like in those early, you getting into a project that's really early, they might for the most part those whitelist requirements will tend to be like chatting and
Yeah.
invites, but then once it gets a little bit bigger, then it turns into what, like fan art
Then it
requirements, you have to get
then
into
it turns
games.
out, yeah, then it turns out to fan art requirement, giveaways, games, posting them on Twitter, making sure that you're trying to get noticed as much as possible, getting their fan art, your fan art of them retweeted. Like your fan art has to get a certain amount of like views so other admins and the founders can see it. Because if you just post your fan art in their Discord, they're most likely not gonna see it. If
Right.
you post it in your if you put it in your bio on your Discord and you put like maybe a piece of their art as your profile picture and then you type in the chat, there's gonna be a mod that sees you. And then if they see like they see the potential in you,
Mm-hmm.
they click on your account and they see that you have their fan art to your Twitter link. You see that you click on your Twitter link, they see that you posted fan art of them on Twitter and stuff like that. Like that's a lot how that really happens because for Sakura, I don't really know how to say their name, but like for this other project with about 19,000 people in here, it's a private Discord and there's a lot of hype in here. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people that love the art, but again, it's like another project of azuki, so you never know what happens to these kind of projects.
Right.
So like I was just typing in chat for about, let's see, I started from like 12 and I got out of there at like 6. So I was in there for about a good 6 hours talking in chat, like putting on a TV show, watching TV, and just typing in chat every single minute.
Right.
But I made fan art and I was in this project, like I said, early. And so there are mods that are watching. And then I decided to get off. And then I had the Twitter link to my fan art of them in my bio. They seen that I was active. They seen that I was helping people. They seen I was welcoming people. People will remember me. I go in the chat. People will say, "Hey, I remember you from yesterday. Thank you for your help, by the way." And
Oh,
then
yeah.
they'll click on me, and then like that's how the admins look at. They click on you, and they see your recent messages. They see if you're helping, and then they look and they see my bio. They see the Twitter post that I posted about their art. They click on that, and they're like, "Oh, and they made fan art, and they're
Right.
helping. Let me just give them whitelist." And then the next day I woke up. I typed in the chat, I was whitelisted. And I didn't really have to do all that extra stuff and just being there all day, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's basically just making your appearance and your history and just like being in the chat because they can always go back and look at your messages.
Right. So throughout this interview, I've been hearing fan art, fan art, fan art. So that kind of leads up into my next question of what works best on getting on a whitelist.
If I say what works best, definitely fan art.
You think so?
I've done a lot of fan art for mini projects, which
Yeah.
has worked out perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
which is what got me into most of my whitelist. I make fan art and I just post it in the the fan art chat and I try to go in the general and say, hey guys, check out my fan art. Or I post it on Twitter and I tag them in it. I'll post it on Twitter. I even retweet it to try and just make sure I'm on their feed instead of just posting it once and going ghost. Because people tend to make fan art and just say, dang, that was hard. And then go in the chat, type a few things, and then go ghost, expecting to be whitelisted the next day. And then just like, dang, I made fan art for them, but they didn't notice me. It's a
Right.
consistent grind, just like how we were talking about with YouTube.
Right. Right.
YouTube is a consistent grind. You got to completely keep posting. And for a whitelist, it's a grind. You just got to keep posting and making art and then just type it in the chat. Even if sometimes you may not get noticed, but mods are noticing, they'll be writing it down, they'll see you, and they'll be like, hey, I've seen this person in the chat. You never know. You just basically
Right.
never know what's gonna happen. People are always watching, and just that's my way of grinding for whitelist and just going for giveaways and stuff like that. It's more of a thing for big projects than just getting into something early.
Right. So, kind of like closing thoughts here on the last question. Like, obviously, we've probably answered it, but let's just reiterate it for the end. But for a beginner that's just starting out with NFTs and they just figured out what like a whitelist is, and they probably think that's the best option for them financially, what would be your best advice on getting on a whitelist for any type of project?
If I had to say for a beginner, my best advice is to get whitelisted for any project. I would have to say getting in contact with other people that are doing NFTs. Make sure you need to get on Twitter, set up your Twitter account, follow hashtag NFT, hashtag NFT community, hashtag giveaway. Following hashtags will give you plenty of NFT projects. That's how I got all my whitelist. I follow hashtags, and then they give me projects instead of me looking up oh, big influencers that like stuff, big influencers that follow stuff. If you just
Right.
follow hashtag NFTs, just hashtags, like NFTs will be flooding your whole Twitter feed, and then
Right.
you'll have lists of projects. And if you like some posts like on NFTs on Twitter, like with like hashtags in it, like sometimes Twitter will literally recommend you stuff saying, "Oh, this is a recommended like title," and then it's a project saying, "If you're seeing this, you're early,"
Right.
or if it says, "This is a recommended because this is your likes, like this is based off your likes to recommend it," and then it shows another NFT project. It's a really long list of NFT projects just because you followed hashtag NFTs and hashtag this, hashtag that. The
Right.
hashtags work very well, and I feel like people sleep on those because I tell people about, oh, you just follow hashtag NFT and stuff like that, hashtag community, NFT community, all the hashtag NFT stuff for like the crypto world, um, it really just helps out the most. And then people just tend to just be like not acknowledge it, and they just go follow like Gary Vee, see what he's liking and following. They follow other big, Twitter influencers and see
Mm-hmm.
what they're following and see what they're talking about. And again, it's just about making friends at the same time from projects, and then just like getting in a Discord like how we are.
Right. So on I definitely second that. Those hashtags do very, very well. But whenever you filter them, like do you just search it up and do like top, or do you check the latest tweets and then scroll through to see if there's any good engagement? Like what's your strategy when looking for those projects and those hashtags?
My strategy is just searching them up. Like when I first made my account, it says what are your topics that you're interested in,
Right.
and I click on like the NFTs, blah blah blah, etc. And then my way of finding it is just going on my Twitter, just opening it, and then just refreshing. When I look, I see a whole list of NFT projects. I keep scrolling, and then once I meet my last feed that I had before I refresh, go to the top, refresh it again, and then on from there. Like I said, this is recommended to you based on your likes. I click on that, and then I go through the recommended stuff that's recommending other people as well. And the stuff that I missed through scrolling just by refreshing it, I can go to that like the recommended part, and I
Right.
can look at more NFT projects.
Okay. Yeah, that's really sweet. I think this information is definitely going to be useful for a lot of people, even not even
Right.
starting out. So
And
um
then just like another thing, sorry, I just had one
no,
more
you're
thing.
good, you're good.
So like another thing is like the timing of people that love to post their new projects is a little stealthy. They
Yeah.
make sure to make it as little stealthy as possible so they see the true people that are into NFTs, the people that are actually dedicated to doing NFTs. So sometimes they'll post maybe at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Sometimes they'll post very early in the morning from 5 a.m. to maybe let's see 10 a.m. They'll post it between those margins. Throughout the middle of the day, you're not gonna really see much posting. But when
Mm-hmm.
it gets 10 to the night in the morning, you'll see a lot of posting saying like, oh, if you see this, you're very early, just because they want to see the actual people that are into NFTs that are very rock hearted with trying to get into an investment hold. Because if you're a really hard worker, that's how it works. People tend to stay up all night, wake up early, and get right onto their phone and get right into the NFT space and
Right.
try to do as much as they can to be successful. And they want to look out for those successful people because they know those are the times those people wake up at.
Right. Yeah. I definitely agree with that. Yeah. Um I think I think whitelists in general right now they're very beneficial for people that want to have like a sounder investment than just kind of pushing their luck into the public launch.
Yeah,
Um
very like with like yeah, like in the white in like just making the whitelist, like you could easily make 10 grand a month. No kizzy. You
no
can literally
kizzy.
make
You
10
heard it here
grand a
folks, no
month.
kizzy.
No kid. You can literally make 10 grand a month, but just by making whitelists, flipping them at the perfect right time, or
Right.
even at the wrong time. If you're flipping within like the whitelist margin and not waiting for a public, profit is profit. Take profit when it's due. But in some project, if you feel like that's project's worth holding, that's on your opinion, not financial advice.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Um you're pretty much guaranteed like I'm not saying
Profit.
any money, but like you're guaranteed to have some sort of benefit if you get
Exactly.
on a really good whitelist because you're pretty much set for the launch. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't like once you get on it. I mean, obviously, that is another question. So say they do get on the whitelist. Is there a potential chance of them like getting off of it somehow, or like is it set in stone once you get on the whitelist you're good?
Oh yeah, there's always a potential of them trying to kick you off of the whitelist. And that's for really dedicated projects that are really about their community and making sure people are fair to
Right.
the whitelist. And just in case, so you don't get kicked off, I always just go in the chat. I would talk for like at least maybe 10 to 20 minutes to communicate with people to make sure my history is like made just like how I said they could check your recents of
Mm-hmm.
talking. If
Mm-hmm.
they see that you talked within that day, they're not gonna take you off. If you don't talk for 3 days, 2 days, they're gonna take you off as soon as possible, as soon as
Interesting.
possible. So it's always good to be active in the chat. You don't really got to make fan art no more unless you're really dedicated to the project. But going in the chat talking for 10 minutes wouldn't hurt. You have 24 hours throughout your whole day.
Right, and this is when you've already got the whitelist and you're kind of set.
Yeah.
Just gradually
Yep.
go in there throughout the day and just be like, hey, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Send a few
Yeah.
messages a day, and then you kind of you'll be set until the launch.
For sure. And it tend to get annoying when you're whitelisted for multiple projects because you
Right.
do have to go in like multiple projects and talk. But at the same time, you worked hard for your whitelist spot. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want to lose it, and 10 minutes really wouldn't hurt. So if you're whitelisted for 6 projects, that's maybe like 10 minutes each. That's an hour. You got 24 hours. Like
Right.
you can time manage it.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, if we really want to do the math, like 6 projects, I mean, what does the average mint allow for a launch for a project for a whitelist spot? Like, how many do you think you
Whitelist
can usually mint?
For the way this drop day, how many they want us to mint? I would have to say 1 to 2. If
Yeah.
there's three, you'll get lucky and
Right.
maybe you'll make a great amount of profit off of it. But just regardless, it's like on the project, good projects usually put two.
Right.
Big projects usually put one, and they make the whole mint a whitelist mint. That's when it's really just pulling out one. If you just get to mint one and there is a public, it's kind of weird because like why do I only get to emit one, but public gets five? It's really an odd, weird number of how they do that,
Yeah.
and that sometimes can make it seem like a bit of like a, I wouldn't say FUD, but just more of like a just a sketchy vibe because I'm like, I worked for my spot, and then you're just giving everyone else five, and plus when you get to public, gas war, hella people are gonna want it, and people are just gonna chuck it and get five, and then people have so much power to just control the floor, and you just get one, and then you can mint in public, But like I said, if you really want to go in that gas war just to get some more, like I don't know if it's really worth it. I feel like you just take your one and then you get out during the public mint and sell.
Right. So so yeah, like even if we wanted to do the math, right? So it's like if you spend 10 minutes for each project, you spend an hour out of your day. Like even if we justified that it was you make like if it was only one mint that you got access to, like a point 0.1 profit seems pretty fair for each project if you're going for the right ones, right?
Yeah,
So
but yeah,
so
for
like
sure.
point 0.6 profit, which is like $1,800 now, like
Mhm.
$1,800 for potentially just working for only an hour essentially a day once you get on whitelist, like the odds are pretty good. So it's way better to go that route and just kind of like stay on that whitelist grind than try and get in this huge gas war in public while everybody's that didn't get on whitelist is trying to get this same thing that you are. Like it's just such a safer, sounder route going the whitelist way. I forgot I was gonna ask something, but yeah, I forgot.
And
But
yeah, it's okay. What's it called? For in like a way of let's say for public, I'm not trying to scare no one away from public,
yeah,
but we're just simply talking about how to get whitelisted and what you need to do to get whitelisted and how we feel
right,
whitelist is the best way to make a great amount of profit. If you
right,
want to go towards public and try and get one during the gas war, let's remember there's chances of you not getting the item and getting charged with gas if you don't cancel your purchase.
right,
There's chances of you spending extra of getting the item because of this stupid gas war. You'll be paying way more because gas will increase. And so how much however much Ethereum you have in your wallet, they will grab as much as it is just to get that item to you as long if you're increasing gas and you're trying your hardest to get this item. Meanwhile, during private, you're just gradually just taking your time. You don't even gotta press fast gas, man. You just gotta press on it, press mint, and then it gets to your wallet within 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
right. Because
So,
for most of the time, it's 24 hours or something you have to
yep,
make your decision on whether you want to mint it or not. So like the
exactly.
pre-sale, which is essentially the whitelist time, is usually 24 hours before the public mint. So you have a lot of time to figure out when you
Yep.
want to do it, and obviously gas fluctuates, so you can kind of get in whenever gas is low, so you don't have to spend that much on the transaction. Um, but yeah, I mean, whitelists
Yeah,
sound
for sure.
pretty good.
It's actually it's very, very good. And just like how we were talking about, you have 24 hours to mint. That
Yeah,
means you have 24 hours to see if you want to buy the item. You have 24 hours to see how whitelist treats the floor
right,
and just all that good stuff. Because what I do when I am in public and when I'm in private when I'm in a whitelist,
yeah,
when I'm getting ready to mint and stuff like that, it's either a I see how they treat it the first couple of minutes. I turn a point 0.2 into a point 0.5 because if they're selling at point 0.5 and I feel like that's good profit for me, I'm gonna get out of there at point 0.5. And if I really want to wait, and this is when you have maybe like if you have like two, if I
yeah,
want to wait, I'm gonna sell one for the profit of both and then hold that other one to see how Whitelist treats the floor down the road. Because you have
right.
24 hours. You have 24 hours to see how Whitelist builds that floor until public gets involved and messes it up or throughout time increases the floor.
Right. And I think, damn, dude, I am just having brain farts out of the wazoo. But, like, um, so yeah, just, I definitely agree. I think, I really had a good point, but I kind of lost it. But, I don't know. Do you have anything else that you kind of want to bring up? Or, I mean, you've done
If I
pretty freaking well right now with the, whole whitelist information. And this is really awesome. I think a lot of people will
yeah,
benefit.
if I have to say, like, just to get more in touch with whitelists and more chances to get whitelists, more figure about more projects, is to get in a Discord of people that are doing NFTs, not an NFT project Discord, but a project that are just learning about just more stuff, you know,
Right.
that are just trying to reach out about more coins, reach out about stocks maybe. But just you need to connect your heads with other people because more brains is better than just one, more eyes is just better than two.
Right.
Because you're always watching Twitter and so are they. And then once they figure out something, find something, they shove it in the Discord and everyone's like, okay, so we all are looking at this and then we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this looks, and then we'll see if like everyone else is messing with it, and we should all just work for Whitelist. And like how I said, when working for Whitelist, there's projects that you should work for, and then so there's some projects that are not there's not enough time. You're out of time. You're out of luck. I've been
Right.
trying to get whitelisted for Invisible Friends for a week now. Too many people. It's too much. I just can't, and they're just not messing with me. And there's just sometimes you can't control it. You can't do
Right.
anything about it. You just got to move on and go to Twitter feed and go look for the next big thing.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, you have to weigh your like opportunity cost. All that time you're
Yep.
spending on that, you know, you could have like 4 projects already lined up, which could make you more or equivalent to what you would have made on just that one project. So
Yep.
it's all opportunity cost. If you don't have anything else, I mean, do you have you have anything?
Oh no, that's
So
I've said almost basically everything.
yeah,
I'm very happy that you invited me. I appreciate it and thank you for your time, man.
yeah, man. Mean, this was definitely a pleasure. If you guys want to check Mean out, uh, his socials will be down below. And he's also a part of the NFT AIO crew. So if you guys want to join that Discord, you guys can hit him up in the public area. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to help you out. But if that's all, you guys have a great rest of your day, man.
You too.